SH Figuarts BAKUGO is on my desk, and I gotta say, I was hoping this figure was better. It almost has the same issues as the Revoltech one, which is why I sold the Revo, because it had a lot of issues, and coming hot off of the Deku SH Figuarts, I was expecting Bakugo to be a shining example of what a figure's supposed to be, but admittedly it has the same issues as the Revo. It's kind of weird. Sculpt paint and details is what you would expect a Bakugo figure to look like. I believe this is the winter outfit. I thought it was season 2, but apparently it's the winter outfit. But for the sculpt and paint department, everything is how it should be. It looks pretty good how it sits. One of my biggest gripes about this figure is the collar piece. I don't really understand why it's floating. I feel like it could have just been a solid thing, and you can see the neck articulation in there. I have half a mind to glue this down just so it's not in the way, and if you move this too much, this back piece will fall off. Also, the front of the hair comes off extremely easy. You'll be posing it and the hair will fall off. I do appreciate how the grenades do have a little articulation. They move up and down to get out of the way for certain poses. I also really like the butterfly range on this guy. He can cross his arms with those big ass grenades, so that's pretty cool. They did some stuff really good on this and some stuff they just fell short. Speaking of falling short, the hands on mine, at least the fisted hands, they come off really easy. Like I can breathe on this thing and these hands will fall out. It's kind of weird. Rolling right into accessories, he comes with 2 fisted hands, 2 open hands, he has a variation of open hands, mainly because one is for the effects and the other ones are for his like style of fighting. It's pretty cool that he came with effects out the box. I know Deku did too, so I guess it's like a running theme for the line. And the effects he has do look really good with the figure. It looks like he's using his cork, which is the point, right? You do also get like I don't even know what that's called, but the things on his head, you get a hair without that on there, and you get a bunch of faces too. You get smiling, smirking, angry, yelling, all the faces and expressions that Bakugo goes through when you see him, you get those with the figure. You even get one with distressed eyes. I probably should have took the hair off so you could see the eyes better, but you get what I'm saying. Almost forgot you get an unmasked face too. It fits on all the hairs he comes with. For articulation, he's a lot like Deku. Like it's a lot of the same themes as Deku here. The major difference I have is my Bakugo doesn't pop apart at the waist if I move it forward too far, but I do wish the waist was able to crunch in more. Maybe I can mod it or something, I don't know. But he will pull off any pose you need. Double jointed knees and legs. The ankles are really good on this figure too. One thing Bandai is getting right with these figures is the great ankle articulation. Besides all the flaws and anything that falls off this figure when you're posing, it is a solid version of Bakugo. Would I say it's better than the Revo? Yeah, because the Revo falls apart just by looking at it. Here he is next to Deku, and I can say I'm excited for this. I hope they do an All Might. Maybe they'll do an armored All Might. That'd be kind of cool. I think they teased one too. Will say I think these MHA figures are a little on the big side. I don't know why, but they just feel like they're too big if you ask me. I think one thing Revoltech got right was the scale of them. Like they weren't as thick as everybody else, so you could tell that they were kids. You can see in these size comparisons that they're not really smaller than the 6-inch figure. They're right at that scale, which is kind of weird because I believe they're teenagers. I don't think they're adults yet. And they'll scale with themselves, but as far as scaling with other lines, it's going to be kind of funny. Of course, if you're doing toy photography, you can do forced perspective and make it work with anything, but just be aware that they're kind of big for what they are. My final thoughts about this figure is I really like it, but it does have some shortcomings, like the hair coming off really easy, and the neck piece comes off really easy if you move the head too far back. You have to be very careful when you're posing this. I wish it was better. I wish it was more solid. I wish it stayed together, but coming from Revoltech and how that one falls apart and how it moves weird, I think this is a step up from that. One of my favorite parts about this figure though is going to be the butterfly articulation. It being able to cross its arms is a major plus for me. You don't get this good of articulation on a lot of figures, so when I see it, I appreciate it. If you want this figure, I'll have a link directly to it for Bigbadtoystore, or you could buy any other option they have. They have thousands of things available for sale. Anything in stock doesn't have a tariff on it, so go ahead and grab it while you can. Shout out to everybody who uses my links. They help me review stuff like this. Gotta say, if you do like My Hero Academia, or if you like figures of that stuff, you'll like this figure. Even with all the flaws, it's still a solid version of this character. Like it'll get into any pose you need to get it into if that's what you need or want from the figure. YouTube is weird and it doesn't recommend you videos from the channel you're watching. So if you want to see more videos like this, watch this video on the screen.